Deep within the Arctic Circle, far beyond the reach of normal civilization, lies a frozen, barren wasteland. Here on the remote Norwegian archipelago of Svalbard, the temperatures regularly plunge to lethal extremes, and polar bears outnumber human beings. It is one of the most hostile, unforgiving environments on planet Earth. Yet, rising out of the permanent snow and solid rock of a mountain called Plateauberget, there is a strange, futuristic concrete wedge. It looks like the entrance to a villain's lair from a spy movie, illuminated by a haunting, glowing art installation that reflects the eerie Arctic light. But this is not a military bunker. There are no billionaires hiding inside, and there are no weapons of mass destruction. Behind these heavily fortified, blast-proof steel doors lies the most valuable treasure in the entire world. It is a treasure so vital that without it, human civilization would face total collapse. Welcome to the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, commonly known as the Doomsday Vault. This is humanity's ultimate backup drive. It is a monumental, globally coordinated fortress designed to survive nuclear war, asteroid strikes, terrifying climate catastrophes, and the total breakdown of the global power grid. Today on Anime Atlas Tour, we are going to unlock the heavy steel doors of the Doomsday Vault. We will uncover exactly who built it, how it was engineered to survive the apocalypse, the incredible secrets of the Black Box Treaty, and the chilling true story of the Syrian War, the only time in history a withdrawal was forced to be made to save a nation's agriculture. To understand the sheer scale and necessity of this project, we must go back to its origins. The story of the Doomsday Vault does not begin with a government conspiracy. It begins with a brilliant, visionary agriculturalist named Carrie Fowler. In the early 2000s, Carrie Fowler, along with the Consultative Group on International Agricultural Research, realized a terrifying truth. Across the globe, there were around 1,700 gene banks holding samples of the world's crops. But these gene banks were incredibly vulnerable. They were located in countries plagued by civil wars, natural disasters, and severe economic instability. A single localized war, a major typhoon, or even a prolonged power outage could wipe out thousands of years of agricultural history overnight. If a country lost its unique crop varieties, they were gone forever. Extinct Fowler knew that humanity needed a failsafe, a master backup facility located in the safest, most stable place on Earth, where the political climate was as frozen and secure as the natural climate. He approached the Norwegian government, proposing the creation of a global safety deposit box for seeds. The Norwegian government, recognizing the absolute existential importance of the project, agreed to fund the entire construction. It cost approximately $9 million, an incredibly small price tag to ensure the survival of the human race. The construction began in 2006, and the vault officially opened its heavily armored doors on February 26, 2008. But why Svalbard? Out of the entire planet, why choose a frozen rock just 800 miles from the North Pole? The location was chosen through a process of rigorous extreme elimination. First, Svalbard is entirely demilitarized by an international treaty signed in 1920. No military activity is allowed, keeping it completely isolated from global conflicts. Second, the tectonic stability is perfect. There are no major earthquakes or volcanoes to shatter the concrete. Third, it is incredibly remote yet surprisingly accessible, featuring an airport capable of handling massive cargo planes. However, the most critical factor was the permafrost. The mountain of Plateauberget is permanently frozen. The engineers knew that if human civilization collapsed and the mechanical cooling systems failed, the natural permafrost acting as a giant icebox would keep the seeds frozen for at least 200 years naturally. Let us look at the extreme engineering required to carve this fortress. To enter the vault, you must pass through the main entrance, heavily monitored by cameras and motion sensors. You do not simply walk into the main chamber. You must traverse a massive, 120-meter-long steel tube that plunges deep into the solid sandstone mountain. This long tunnel is specifically designed to absorb the shockwave of a direct nuclear strike or a massive conventional explosion. If a bomb hits the entrance, the blast energy will dissipate down the tunnel without ever breaching the inner sanctum. At the end of this long echoing corridor, you encounter another set of heavy steel security doors. Behind these doors lies the control room and the mechanical heart of the facility. Here, massive industrial compressors and cooling systems operate continuously, drawing the natural ambient temperature of -4 degrees Celsius down to an aggressive -18 degrees Celsius. Beyond the control room are the 3 massive vault rooms. Currently, only one is in use, while the other 2 sit in complete frozen darkness, waiting for the day they are needed. Each of these 3 rooms measures 27 meters long, 10 meters wide, and 6 meters high. Stepping inside the active vault is an overwhelming experience. The air is so cold and dry that it instantly bites your lungs. The room is lined top to bottom with heavy-duty metal shelving units. And sitting on these shelves are thousands upon thousands of simple plastic storage boxes. Inside those boxes lies the genetic code of our planet. As of today, the vault holds over 1.2 million distinct seed samples, representing more than 5,000 different species of everyday crops. There is wheat from India, rice from China, beans from South America, and ancient strains of barley that date back thousands of years. The facility has the absolute capacity to store 4.5 million varieties of crops. With each variety containing roughly 500 seeds, the vault can hold a staggering 2.25 billion seeds in total. It is literally Noah's Ark, but for plants. But how do you keep a seed alive for hundreds of years? The packaging process is a triumph of scientific precision. Before arriving in Svalbard, the seeds are rigorously dried to reduce their moisture content to around 5%. This ensures that the water inside the seed does not freeze, expand and shatter the plant's internal cells. Once dried, the seeds are sealed inside custom-made 3-ply aluminum foil packets. These packets are completely airtight and moisture-proof. They are then placed inside standard uniform plastic totes, sealed with tamper-proof tape, and loaded onto the cargo planes bound for the Arctic. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Doomsday Vault is its legal framework. It operates under what is known as the black box system. This is a crucial concept. The Norwegian government owns the facility and pays for all its maintenance. The Global Crop Diversity Trust pays for the shipping of the seeds from developing nations. However, neither Norway nor the trust owns the seeds inside. The seeds remain the absolute sovereign property of the country or institution that deposited them. If Japan deposits a box of rare rice seeds, only authorized personnel from Japan can request to open that box and withdraw those seeds. The vault is simply a highly secure bank. Norway merely holds the keys to the building, not the keys to the boxes. Furthermore, the vault has strict biological laws. It absolutely prohibits the storage of any genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. The vault is strictly reserved for preserving natural, historical and unmodified agricultural heritage. For years, the Svalbard Seed Vault was viewed as a theoretical safety net, a precaution for a doomsday that hopefully would never arrive. But in 2015, the unthinkable happened. Doomsday arrived not globally but locally, in the devastating theater of the Syrian Civil War. The International Center for Agricultural Research in the Dry Areas, known as ICARDA, was headquartered in Aleppo, Syria. This massive gene bank held the world's most crucial collection of seeds adapted to dry, arid climates, seeds that hold the key to surviving global warming and extreme drought. As the brutal civil war tore Aleppo apart, bombs rained down and power grids were shattered. The brilliant scientists at ICARDA, risking their own lives, managed to smuggle their seed collections out of the war zone and send them to the Svalbard Vault for safekeeping. But as the war raged on, the Syrian agricultural system was devastated. The scientists, now relocated to Lebanon and Morocco, needed their seeds back to restart their vital research and restore the crops of the Middle East. In a historic, heartbreaking yet triumphant moment, ICARDA requested the first and only withdrawal in the history of the Doomsday Vault. The Black Box Treaty was invoked. The boxes were retrieved from the freezing depths of Plateau Berget, loaded onto planes and sent back to the Middle East. The scientists successfully planted the seeds, multiplied them and rebuilt their massive gene banks. In 2017, having successfully restored their collections, they sent a new batch of seeds right back to Svalbard. The system worked perfectly. The Doomsday Vault had officially saved an entire region from total agricultural extinction. However, even the most perfect engineering is not immune to the fury of a changing planet. The engineers who designed the vault in 2006 made one critical assumption. They believed the permafrost of Svalbard would remain permanently frozen forever. They were wrong. The Arctic is warming faster than any other place on Earth. In the winter of 2016, Svalbard experienced unprecedented, freakishly high temperatures and heavy rain instead of snow. The unthinkable happened. The eternal permafrost began to melt. Meltwater surged down the mountainside and flooded the massive entrance tunnel of the Doomsday Vault. The water rushed inward and then suddenly froze into massive solid blocks of ice, transforming the secure entrance into a treacherous glacier. Panic rippled through the global scientific community. Had the Doomsday Vault been breached? Fortunately, the water only froze in the outer tunnel. It never reached the inner vault doors, and not a single seed was damaged. But the warning was clear. The apocalypse they were preparing for was already happening outside their front door. The Norwegian government immediately launched a massive €20 million emergency upgrade project, costing more than double the original price of the entire facility. They completely rebuilt the entrance tunnel. They stripped away the original steel tube and replaced it with a massive waterproof concrete structure. They installed huge, sophisticated cooling trenches equipped with industrial pipes carrying refrigerants, ensuring that even if the mountain warms, the rock surrounding the tunnel will be artificially kept completely frozen. They moved all the heat-generating electrical equipment out of the tunnel and into a separate, newly built service building on the surface. They dug emergency drainage ditches into the mountainside to divert any future meltwater. The Doomsday Vault was upgraded from an indestructible bunker to a completely climate-proof fortress. Today, the vault stands stronger than ever. It is continuously expanding its collection. Recently, indigenous tribes from the Cherokee Nation became the first U.S. tribe to deposit their sacred ancient seeds, ensuring their cultural heritage will survive the end of the world. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault is more than just a concrete room filled with frozen boxes. It is the most powerful monument to human foresight, international cooperation, and survival ever built. In a world divided by borders, wars, and politics, there is one place in the freezing darkness of the Arctic where every nation on Earth has come together to protect our shared future. It is a silent promise to the generations that will follow us. No matter how badly we damage this planet, we have saved the instructions on how to start over. The vault waits, frozen, silent, and ready for the day we need it most. We are standing on the edge of history, and the backup drive is running. If the power grids fail tomorrow, these seeds will be the only currency that matters. Subscribe to Anime Atlas Tour, hit the like button, and share this massive documentary to expose the incredible lengths humanity will go to survive. Tell us in the comments below, if you could save only one type of seed for the apocalypse, what would it be? The countdown has already begun, and the Arctic is watching.